Hey, good morning. I'm Blake Buttram. This is Matt Minton. We're with Arkansas Retirement and Wealth. And today's Thursday, October 30th. And we just kind of wanted to talk to you about what's been happening in the market. We do these videos every month, and this is our October market report.
Yeah, so if you've been paying attention, you've probably looked at your accounts and have liked what you've seen. The market has
Mhm.
just continued to drive on and keep going up. I know we've been above 6,900 for the last couple of days on the S&P 500. We're going to start flirting with that 7,000
Yeah.
number probably here pretty soon. Wouldn't surprise me if we see some pullback. People start taking profits when you start hitting milestone numbers like that. But usually that's a kind of a short-lived thing. As long as it's able to bounce back up, then it could keep driving on. A lot of this has been driven by the prospect that interest rates will be lowered throughout the rest of this year. They met yesterday. They did lower the interest rates 0.25%, which is pretty much what we were expecting them to do. However, they have basically anticipated in the past that they would have at least one more interest rate drop at the end of this year. When they met yesterday, Chairman Powell basically said that it's not a foregone conclusion that they would indeed have another 25 basis point or 0.25% cut this year before the end of the year. So if we don't have that cut, we could see a little bit of volatility with the markets. But it all kind of depends on that stubborn inflation number and what happens with it. Right now, I think they probably would have rather kept interest rates where they are based on the inflation data, but the job reports haven't been real good.
Yeah. And there's not a lot of information out there due to the government shutdown. I don't know
Hmm.
what day we're in, but like we're encroaching upon one of the longest government shutdowns. Yeah, so kind of scary on that front. Yesterday, President Trump and his Chinese counterpart Xi, they met and kind of came to a. It was in the news this morning that the trade truce for a year. So who knows ultimately how that's gonna affect everything. But it wasn't last Friday, Friday before last. So several Fridays ago, whenever Trump came out and said something about like China wasn't what did he use? Like they weren't basically following what he thought. I mean, the market cratered, but then it came back. I mean, it fell like over 3% that Friday, but then it came back the following Monday. So a lot of volatility there. Anything could happen. That's why we tell people like you want to make sure that you're not walking to the end of that plank looking into the great unknown. Like you want to have some downside protection always built into your plan. So. Um, Interest rates, like he said, are going to continue to, obviously have a big effect on everything. So whether that be, mortgages, CDs, we've been telling people. I know I met with a client yesterday that we were looking at some very short term, just fixed annuities, and kind of felt like that. That rate probably wouldn't be that same way. So that's what we're here for. The rate wouldn't be the same way next week. So that's what we're here for. If you are worried about any of this, please feel free to give us a call. It's the market's kind of it's not kind of, it is an uncharted territory. So I saw a little snippet from a video we showed the other day, and it said like if you can't sleep at night, well, you probably shouldn't be invested that way. And that really hit me because I'm like, man, everybody's retirement accounts are doing great. Mine's doing great. Like I love opening my Fidelity app every day and seeing how much it's gone up. But I'm 38, so I can take risk, and if I lost a big chunk of it, I still have many years of working to gain it back. But most people, whenever they're in their 60s, 70s, 80s, they don't want to be taking that same amount of risk. So if you have questions about any of this, or if you are concerned and just want a second opinion on your own finances, please feel free to give us a call. Our phone number is 501-623-7066. And then you can also visit our website, which is retirearkansas.com. And then I would also encourage you to look at our YouTube channel. We're going to start putting out more and more of these informational videos. So you got anything else you want to say?
No, other than I think kind of going back to the market a little bit, in that I don't think that this government shutdown will persist for a real long time. But something to kind of keep an eye on is, everybody's talking about the SNAP benefits right now, and we're coming into the Christmas season. And a lot of these companies rely on, we talk about Black Friday,
Mm-hmm.
that's when these companies go on the black. They rely on a heavy push here at the end of the year with sales to help their earnings reports that they give for the year. So if people are having to take some of that income that they may spend on Christmas season items and shuffle that over to food, just kind of something to keep an eye on there. Hopefully they get the government back open before too long.
Surely,
I don't think it'll go. I don't think it'll go that long.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way for me to know, but somebody's going to give in.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, it's going to start affecting everybody.
Right.
So, all right. Well, thank you for joining us. Hope y'all have a good day.